Well, good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us for the SADC Innovation and Investment Challenge Regional Finals. My name is Dumisani Dube, and I'm the head of innovation at Phema Trust. My apologies, my video just decided not to work when I logged in, but I hope I'm clearly audible. So we will be starting off our agenda for this afternoon. So we're gathered this wonderful afternoon to celebrate our participants who have been involved in the SADC Innovation and Investment Challenge for the past 3 months. And the innovation competition itself includes 7 countries, namely South Africa, Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, Lesotho, Tanzania, and Botswana. We launched the competition as Phema Trust together with our partners, FSD Mozambique and FSD Zambia, with a view of laying the foundation on which to develop enabling ecosystems that develop and support the design of products and services that will improve the livelihoods of the vulnerable within our region. And the key objective of this competition or initiative is to surface and incubate innovative solutions to the key developmental challenges. And this included 4 thematic areas: with access to finance for SMMEs, women and savings, digital financial identity, and access to basic services. So today we celebrate all our participants who have come this far. And I must say that the journey was highly competitive to such an extent that as much as we may be announcing the top 4 winners this afternoon, our judges had to go through a challenge to do that because we had amazing solutions that truly answer the needs of the vulnerable. So the teams have also had to be very agile and nimble in the face, of course, of the global pandemic, which also forced us to pivot the positioning of this competition and run it fully virtual for the remainder of the competition itself. So this afternoon, I will start off with the agenda. And I'm just moving up on my screen here. So our first agenda point is we will have an innovation power talk by Mr. Daniel Ngwepe. I will introduce his profile to you as soon as we get to his section. And then from there, we're going to have the introduction to key competition themes and challenges, which will be supported by our executive head of programs, Ms. Nikki Kettles. And then the big portion of, or the big part of the event itself is the announcement of the top winners, which is the top 4 winners, the winner in each of the 4 thematic areas that we have highlighted. And then finally, we will close off with the next steps to this competition as a whole. So I will just check if our guest speaker is already online, and then we'll proceed. So I just need to confirm if Mr. Daniel Ngwepe is already online.
Dumisani, if you can hear me, I am online, except I don't have video. So if it's okay, we'll do audio.
Perfect. I can hear you clearly, sir. Thank you very much. So before you jump in, I will just read a brief profile so that people get to know who is giving us this talk this afternoon. So Mr. Daniel Ngwepe is a talented, mature stakeholder relations and communications practitioner with an excellent track record of achievement in public and regulation Daniel has extensive background of over 25 working years with governments, the private sector, media. He has a wide experience in managing diverse issues and leading teams across various sectors, both in South Africa and abroad. He has built a record of achievement in the fields of education, mining, payments, technology, public affairs, and diplomacy. He was in the South Africa Foreign Affairs Office and served as the country's embassy in Washington, D.C., where he became the political counselor and interim deputy chief of mission. During his 2 terms with the United States as a career diplomat, he helped advance South Africa's interest through active strategic engagements with the American society, including government, business, and civil society organizations. And most recently, he has been with Visa since 2011 and looks after the company's relations with policymakers and regulators in sub-Saharan Africa. And I think much of it you'll get to know more as he speaks. But at this moment, I would like to hand over to you, Mr. Daniel Ngwepe. Over to you, sir.
Dumisani, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me to be with you all in this exciting event. And congratulations in advance to all the participants in the competition. And as we say in sports, may the best player win. Thank you again for allowing me to participate. Where you are addressing a topical issue, especially given the circumstances in which we find ourselves today. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. Indeed, we meet at a time when, as you all know, many African governments had been talking about digitization even prior to COVID-19. And I think the pandemic will accelerate this digital agenda for many of the countries. Already, there are new ways, as you all will be aware, of interacting with friends and family and with our neighbors. There are rapid shifts in consumer and merchant behavior regarding what we buy and how we pay for it. Consumers will shift to pragmatic product solutions as a result of COVID-19 and digital acceleration and transformation of technologies such as contactless, touchless payments, e-commerce are already on the rise. Some retailers in the end, indeed, I think will change their business models, and smaller businesses will also need to build their online capacity for things like food delivery services, for pharmacies, paying for your gym membership, even hair salons, etc., etc. And then finally, there's also going to be an interesting shift to move away from cash to the digital money movement. Now, whether it is you do it domestically, you're paying as a P2P payment within South Africa, or you want to do it across border. There's going to be definitely a shift and a big interest in how money moves around. Many of these shifts, I believe, are here to stay. Obviously, we will require some kind of infrastructure, digital payment infrastructure, for people to be able to use them. But I think that while I think it won't be an overnight move where people will have access to digital payment infrastructure, you will see these trends continuing to grow after the pandemic is over. In future, you'll see digitization becoming a required or even a more urgent adaptation. The adoption of digitization will be a key focus area for small businesses to future-proof their businesses. And so you also see fintechs who respond in order to reap the greatest rewards and benefits of this pandemic, as they say in every crisis, there is an opportunity. And so those fintechs that are currently looking at what is happening and how these trends, how these behaviors are changing, and those fintechs that will start to build their own digital capacity in order to address these issues, indeed are those that stand to benefit the most. So let me talk a little bit about what this means for financial inclusion for small businesses, but especially for women-owned businesses. In a country like South Africa, we know that women are limited and are restricted by social and cultural norms, and therefore, in order for their small businesses to thrive, they will need access to the digital infrastructure like mobile phones and access to a laptop computer, et cetera, because this improves their chances of getting a loan, of creating a record, of building a record that will allow them to get a small loan from a bank. And so in terms of the shifts that I've talked about, it's not, while I'm saying the shifts will stay, it's important as well to look at how these shifts, depending upon access to the resources I've referred to, how these shifts might make financial exclusion worse. And so if you look at the current situation in terms of small businesses, one of the biggest struggles, because we talk financial inclusion, but financial inclusion is not just the ability to open a bank account and to be able to transact. Financial inclusion also means access to finance, access to credit for small and medium businesses. That access is crucial because the small businesses will need money to be able to build the digital capacity. In this regard, small businesses will need mobile phones, they will need the internet, they will need digital financial literacy, and the cultural norms that I'm talking about are a risk in terms of how exclusion might continue, in particular for women. So what we need really in the post-COVID situation is equal access to digital infrastructure and basic financial services, especially, as I say, for small businesses, for women businesses, and for rural communities. One of the other areas that's important is cross-border payments. As you all know, digital financial services are cheaper, they are faster, they are more efficient. Digital financial services indeed can mitigate social and economic impact on rural communities, away from people who depend on the traditional financial institutions. And so a lot of this, though, accompanying financial inclusion would be financial literacy. I remember a few years ago, a bank in Zimbabwe drove a little truck to a community, a rural community, once a week, every Wednesday. So people can withdraw money, so people can deposit money, they can actually do banking services, using this car, using this bank-sponsored car. And so the project was not taking off. And when we talked to these rural communities to find out, why is it that they complain about this town being far and the banks being far, and here's a bank, but then they're not using it. A lot of them said, well, we're not very happy with a car that's here and then tomorrow it's not. What happens to the money? They are more comfortable with putting their money in the post office or a post bank, because the building is here today, it's going to be there tomorrow, and they know where to go. But if this car doesn't come back, what happens? And so it's these things that we need to take into cognizance if we want to take rural communities along with us to get into the digital financial services. But then again, the other issue with cross-border payments is it's expensive. What you want to do when you want to move people away from cash is to make the customer experience pleasant. If there's going to be friction, the money can't be paid from this device to a device in Botswana or to a device in Mozambique. People become doubtful. They wonder whether or not it works. They don't like the friction in the system. So if we are able to make the customer experience pleasant, efficient, and seamless, that's one way of creating confidence so people can start to use and embrace and adopt digital payments. The next item on there that I want to talk about is if all of these things that we're talking about, if the digital agenda, digital financial services are going to advance financial inclusion, what other obstacles are there that will, apart from financial literacy and digital financial literacy, etc., and access to resources? One of the most important key pillars is the role played by regulators. In the face of COVID-19, and indeed, even pre-COVID-19, when, as I say, African governments were already talking about digitization, regulators will need to upgrade existing regulations in order to accommodate small fintechs through simplified digital requirements. When I go and I want to make a digital transaction, I want it to be as frictionless as possible. There shouldn't be like a whole lot of requirements for me to be able to make a transaction. Otherwise, it's easier for me to fall back on just paying by cash. And when I talk about digital requirements, I'm really referring to things like, the embrace and the use of technology, such as biometrics, voice recognition or facial ID, and other alternatives to paper-based experiences, especially for government electronic services. If governments adopt electronic services, they should make it easy for people to use them. Don't be asking me to bring me my ID and my birth certificate and my utility bill and what have you. If there's a way to expedite and to facilitate the transaction without a lot of friction, that is going to be one way of making sure that we are able to bring more and more people into the financial services, and regulators therefore have an important role to play in this regard. And therefore, what you see in some of the developed world, the regulators there put innovation before regulation. They don't want an innovation stifling regulation. Sometimes, here they say, well, yeah, there's a problem between information sharing and privacy concerns. As a result of the law on privacy concerns, you are not going to be able to deploy that product. I think that regulators should be more open to new ways of doing things in order to enable more people to participate, in order to enable more people to provide these technology solutions that you guys are talking about, that you guys are developing, because all of this will encourage people to participate, one, in creating innovative solutions, and two, in adopting the newly created innovative solutions, most of which are local for local problems, local solutions for local problems. And so overall, it is important, I think the point I'm making is that it is important for regulators to remove the uncertainty of the regulatory environment. And so as I get to the end of my talk, I want to just focus a little bit on financial inclusion and the role of fintechs. As I said earlier, technological innovation has made some great inroads into financial services, and this has implications for payment and financial inclusion. Are we going to stick with the traditional financial services, the way we do business, or are we going to embrace a new way of doing things? Because the reality is also that the current setup, the current financial setup does not accommodate the unbanked or the underbanked. You know, we build bricks and mortar structures and we say, right, if you want to open an account, you know where to find me. I think we need to start moving into a mode where we say, we're going to come to you and we'll try and find out what is it that is blocking you from participating in the financial services sector. And let's address the problem where it is. Today, with the availability of mobile phones and things like that, there are alternatives to this brick and mortar structures. In fact, as you know, there are digital banks that are beginning to come into play as well. These are purely digital banks. There's no, you know, brick and mortar. There's no branch. You don't go to. You don't visit a branch. You do your transactions electronically. And so fintechs have a role to play in advancing financial inclusion. They can therefore make products based on, you know, mobile phones. You know, there's mobile money that you know of that's working really well out in countries like Kenya, e-wallets, on lending, on cross-border remittances, and credit scoring for loans, et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, fintechs have a central role if given the necessary support to make payment products ubiquitously accessible and create awareness and improved user experience. There's of course pushback from traditional financial services providers like, you know, your traditional banks, because they argue, you know, we take prudential responsibility and therefore, you know, how can we just allow everybody else to come into the system and not have to share that responsibility? So there's a lot of pushback from traditional financial institutions, you know, sometimes rightly so, right? Just as much as there is a bit of skepticism from the regulators about the entry into the system of fintechs, because, you know, they will have concerns about fraud, about money laundering, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important that, you know, while we recognize these problems, we should not equate them with a prohibition, a blockage. We shouldn't allow that to be a barrier. We need to find creative and innovative ways to allow more people, more players into the financial services, especially to reach those communities that are currently not being catered for by the traditional setup. In conclusion, I think that working with regulators, with fintechs, with traditional financial institutions, we can indeed make a real impact in financial inclusion beyond the usual platitudes. If you go to any conference, everybody talks about financial inclusion, but when you really get down to it and you want to find out from them what they actually mean by financial inclusion, you know, the answers are all many and varied. And so if we understand that to mean access to finance, if we understand that to mean financial literacy, if we understand that to mean the support for small businesses, which in many countries account for more than 60% of the available jobs, we stand a really, really good chance, I think, of moving the dial a little bit forward. Fintechs are a necessary, innovative intervention and deserve the support of all those who are genuinely committed to advancing financial inclusion. And I will stop here with my remarks and hope that you found that useful. Thank you very much to Ms. Ani.
Dimi, you're on mute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanyangwepe. This was a great talk. And I think you covered a lot of key points, really looking at equal access to digital services, looking at the frictionless KYC, and most importantly, have innovation go before regulation to ensure that we've got an enabling environment for our innovators. And it's unfortunate we would have loved to open up this discussion, but while we have also done a scoping study, which we will be launching, so we will be putting it out, and I think some of these key points raised by Mr. Gwepe, we've also looked into them. And before we get into our next speaker, just to highlight to our participants that as soon as your team is announced as the winner, please raise your hand so that Nicola can give you access to be a panelist, and you will be able to talk through the presentation which Nicola will be sharing from her end. And to take note, you will have 7 minutes to go your presentations. You will have a reminder at the 5-minute mark, and then at exactly 7 minutes, we will applause and we will stop sharing the slide. This is in the best interest of time, but just take note of that. And so moving into the next section, we have MoneyChaps Kettles, who is our executive manager for programs at Phema Trust, who will give us an introduction to the key competition themes and the challenges that we've presented and why this is important for us as Phema Trust. So over to you, Nikki.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? I'm assuming it's all. Thank you.
I can hear you clearly.
Thank you very much, Jimmy, and thank you, Daniel, and welcome everybody to an event and the end of a season that we are very, very proud of. In these difficult times that we all living through, there's also opportunity, and there's also a huge amount of positivity, and I think that's what we always need to focus on. I spend a lot of time reading, and you may have seen on my card previously, I used a quote from Maya Angelou, which says, "The desire to reach the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise." And in my opinion, this competition does both. It's about reaching the stars, it's about our youth, it's about innovation, and it's about how we can change the fabric of some of what is happening in society to make the lives of some people better, but also to change what is happening in our region so that we can expand and do things better, as Daniel was saying. Very, very eloquent, and the way he kept reminding us about making it frictionless for people. At Finmark Trust, it is our desire to do both of those, to reach the hearts and to reach the stars in our work around making financial services work for the poor, and talking about financial inclusivity and really focusing on those that are most vulnerable. For us, innovation is key to delivering, to making impact on those that are less fortunate than us. So when we decided on the 4 themes, it came off a base of evidence, of understanding the region, of understanding the problems, of understanding what is happening, and just a few touch points on those 4 specific themes. The first one was around DFI or EKYC. It basically is that I heard a colleague of mine call it the passport of access into financial services. And in all of the work we do, generally the greatest friction is around becoming part of the formal financial service environment. And the vision and the dream was that in the near future, if I had been appropriately KYC'd in Zambia, for example, and I then went to Botswana, if the KYC was to regional specifications and you know everything was appropriate, you wouldn't have to be re-KYC'd, because we know at the moment the greatest problem is if you move into another country and you want access to formal financial services, and I say this is a joke, but it's the truth, you almost need to give DNA. And SADC is a region where migrants and moving around the region is the way we work. So we need to work on that, and that frictionless access to formal financial services. The other one is where we looked and we understood some of the challenges around savings. I'm sure you all know that Finmark developed some mobile money guidelines where we really asked that interest start being paid on wallets, not deposit taking bank accounts, but wallets, really to try and move the dial in a different way around savings and formally savings. And here we were also talking about women's savings groups that we know are very dominant and doing very interesting work. Again, came out of our research. The other one, which Daniel touched on, is the access to finance for SMME. And we know from our research, it's not that the finance is not available, that the capital is sitting in areas. It's around the small SMMEs actually accessing this finance and being able to appropriately use it, whether it is for working capital or to start their business, and how they use it and how they manage their way through it. And the last thing for us was the access to basic services, where we know, in South Africa, we all complain because Eskom switches off the lights because something goes wrong. What we forget is there's people that don't have access to some of these basic services, and through digitization and fintech, we can allow that. So really, these thematics were thought through, were discussed with our partners, the FSDs in the group with us, to really understand what were the big challenges and where we felt fintech could enable. And that's not the end. Obviously, we will continue and we will work through and go through our next set of problems in the next phase of this work. Just a little bit of history. This innovation challenge evolved out of something called Data Hack for FI, which I'm hoping you all know about. Out of our Eye2Eye program, which was a Gates Foundation and MasterCard Foundation program, we developed frameworks and ran large hackathons on the continent over the last 5 years, and we've evolved that framework, where initially it was a competition, and how now we're talking about it's not a competition, it's surfacing, incubating, and actually taking some of these amazing solutions to the market. So season 1, we had 126 entrants with 7 countries. Season 2, we had 185 entrants with 6 countries. Season 3, we had 228 entrants with 9 countries. So you can see it's grown, and now we have the SADC Innovation Challenge. I think that's really all I wanted to tell you about a bit of the history. We're very excited. We look forward to hearing the results. But I think the one thing I need to say to you, because I can imagine all of our amazing youth that are sitting out there are sitting on tender hooks. And there is a wonderful man who celebrated his birthday this week who said, "A winner is a dreamer that never gives up." So just because you didn't win doesn't mean the solution isn't right. Just because you didn't win doesn't mean you're a failure. And I'm going to encourage you to please, no matter what the outcome is today, to continue to putting your mind to looking at innovation, fintech solutions that can help us solve some very basic problems in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nikki. And I 100% agree with that. For those who do not go home with the prize, it does not mean that your solution is not good enough, because the greatest test is not competition itself, but taking your product to the market. So your market is the most important factor in testing out and taking your market, your product to cause impact out there. So the next stage of our program is, like I had highlighted earlier, the big section where we will be announcing the winners for each of these 4 categories. And the order is that we will announce the winner for each category, and then they will be given 7 minutes to pitch or present their solution. And then at the end of the 7-minute mark, we will announce the winner for the following category right through to the end. So at this moment, I would love to introduce Dr. Eselina Makome, the CEO of FSD Mozambique, we have the privilege of her announcing the winners for this competition. So at this moment, I'll hand over to Eselina. Over to you, Eselina.
Thank you, Dr. Misane. Good afternoon to all of us, and thanks for this opportunity. I have a hard and a happy task to do the announcement of the winner of our journey that we started earlier this year in order to bring innovation in our countries. It is really a great pleasure for FSD Mozambique to be part of this journey of innovation. And as Daniel was saying, we are moving for financial inclusion, not being just a bank account, but to other type of service that the final user has to do. And that one will be only possible with innovation. And I have to thank all the participants for this SADC challenge. And now we need to announce who are the best that were selected. And it doesn't mean that the other solutions are not good. What it means is that in life, we have to select one at some stage. So the winner from access to basic service, as Nikki was explaining what was the idea behind this thematic area of our challenge. The winner of this thematic area is coming from a country where there are a lot of coconut scrubs, there is a lot of national parks, and we do have the tallest mountains in Africa. And that winner is coming from Tanzania, and the winner is Live Plus. I think that I pronounced it well. I will ask that we just jointly clap our hands in order to welcome that first winner in order to make the presentation. So the first winner, Life Plus from Tanzania, is one that the judge has selected to be representing the Africa Young Innovator in the area of or in the term of access to basic service. Please, you have 7 minutes to make your presentation.
Hi, sorry, if I can just ask the participant to raise their hand so that I can give them access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can go ahead and just let me know when you'd like me to change the slides.
I will suggest that you just use your 7 minutes in the best way.
Can you unmute yourselves? Sorry. You can go ahead.
Okay. I'm not sure if Life Plus, any of you will be presenting.
Okay, I have promoted you to panelists, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Possibly, I would suggest, this is Dumi. I would suggest that if Life Plus is having a challenge, we could move to the second category. And then you can send Nicola a direct message, Life Plus, if you're ready, and then we will have you present after the next category has been announced and the startup is presented. So Eselina, if you may please announce the next category. Sorry, I think you're on mute, Eselina.
Yeah. The second thematic areas is about digital financial identity, and it is a very, very important areas which is also contributing to financial inclusion. We need to know who we are, and in the moment of digitalization is also very important. The winner of this thematic area is coming for one of our SADC country, a country where we have more elephants than people, a country where we have diamonds. I have a pleasure to announce that the winner of this category is the digital diamond. And please is coming from Botswana.
Okay, I'm going to allow, if you've raised your hand, and I have, there's a few people that have raised their hands, I have given talking access. Nelly, will you be speaking?
I'll be speaking.
Okay, let me just load up your...
No, it will be me, sorry.
Yes, no, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, you can go ahead, just tell me when to change the slide.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm representing Botswana on the thematic area of financial identity, as so mentioned. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to go right in to the explanation and try to be as slow as fast as possible, both. It's a free online and offline KYC instant identification platform. You can go to the next thing. It's the last form you'll ever need to fill. It's a PDF, so yeah. More than 20 countries in Africa are already blacklisted by the European Union and other regulatory bodies, according to Africa's CGTN. So anti-money laundering and know your customers are very, very, very important. The things that we're trying to clear out was grey listing, repetition of forms, literacy failure rate, wait times in queues and verification. So this is an all-inclusive free online and offline instant identification application that sends your phone a 6-digit PIN that allows you to use in various places, whether in Botswana, South Africa, whatever country. If the system is running, it will populate and pull out your information related to you. So grey listing, form filling, risk reduction, convenience and usability is at the core of this thing. And if you don't have a smartphone, it also estimates it to your SADC. So like your SADC is a slang word we use here. That means non-smartphone. It also doubles as a visitor management, a free visitor management. So that allows us to populate and crowdsource more of the data of these individuals who are entering different buildings. You can go to the next slide. So our target market is pretty simple. It's the financial institutes, telecoms, and software applications. So software applications such as Uber and other applications that were among the winners and among the participants here who would be able to access the RESTing API to help for authentication of the various people that are trying to subscribe to whatever they're trying to do. Health sectors, parents, credit unions, loans, even government bodies. The scalability is because Digital Diamond works offline, meaning even if there is no Wi-Fi, you'll be able to scan and store the individual's data. Then once you do get connectivity, it will upload it. It also behaves as an instant app. So if you're an Android user, you don't need to download the application. It off a link. So therefore, if you have no space in your phone, you've got access as well. So not only is it low consumption, it has low impact on your phone usage. Our target market is written here. Our financial institutes, telecoms, and ChefPro, Trello, and Ashura are our competitors. You can go to the next slide. So over here, these are the 2 different use cases that I had mentioned before. That first icon there, if we had clicked the link, would be the demo. Once you press that image on the smartphone, it would have entered the demo and it show you exactly how the application works in real time. But use case 2 is once you've signed up or registered it, maybe not even registered, walked into a building and you've given them your information. When they put your cell phone number, it will text you your unique DDI ID. So when you enter another building, you don't need to repeatedly fill in that form or that information in that next location. And then use case 3 is, even if you don't remember your DDI number and you just said your information, it would pick up that DDI number and associate it to you when you're coming into a different place, whether you have no phone or not, entering a building or filling out a KYC or entering a bank. You can go to the next slide. So sales channels. So we had various ways of giving this to the people with iOS apps on the Google Play Store, which is already free distribution globally, as well as the App Store. And our advertising channels is the first of its kind, a mobile digital advertising truck that emits free and allows individuals to access data. So if you're trying to scan information that's offline, if you see our truck, you'd be able to upload that data, whether it's through messages and stuff like that. Our virtual assistant is basically a chatbot AI that communicates and onboards people onto your platform. Downloading apps as mentioned. The 2 images there are sort of error. There's an error on that, but then the sign in on video campaigns. You can go to the next slide. So revenue, because companies in Botswana, you pay about like BTC, Botswana Telecom Corporation, pays about 6 pula per KYC form that is filled out. We base that off on an average of 38,000 population, or should I say subscription base on BTC, and then we times that by 6, and then we multiply that by the 3 other telecoms that are provided. So even though it is repetition of information, we'll be able to charge them the same 6 pula per user, as well as integrated with the resting API, you'd be charged a 5 pula per user that is authenticated per month, not per access point. Next slide. Trying to be as fast as possible. Yes, roadmap. Access ideation has already been done. Prototyping has already also begun. We've done, we're doing pilot stages. We're about to do the pilot stage at Stanbic Bank in Botswana. That was really great because they've also offered us server space to store our information, our data, so it's securely stored and secure. Initial investment, hopefully, if we have won this competition, that was something that I included in the description. Quality assurance is we regularly will be updating, responding to feedback, iterating and improving, as well as getting key hires that can help channel the growth of this product further. Okay, next slide. Oh man, 7 minutes. And the most important thing, this could not be done without my beautiful team, my project manager, my data forensics information attorney, my designer, my lead developer, my junior developer, and my software developer. So it was very important that we had our data forensics information attorney on our team, because she's the one that informs the privacy attorney, who informs the use cases and legalities of how we can use the data, how we can sell the data, how we can protect individuals' data as well. Okay, next slide. Just trying to be as quick as possible. And our partners at Stanbic Bank Botswana, the largest unlisted bank in Botswana. I had mentioned earlier, had offered a service space as well as the pilot our mobile application in their branches. Botswana Telecoms, who's actually going to be a partner with us with free Wi-Fi on our digital truck, which is still under negotiation. Next slide would be my hybrid business model canvas, which is just an overview of why we came to this decision. So under environment, we had in the interactive presentation, you click environment, it would tell us that because it's COVID-19, a lot of companies are encouraged to register people as they enter the building. And this was our first pooling of individuals' data to allow us to keep refining it. And there's a verification process within the application that allows you to verify through your water utilities, your telecoms, your landlord, as well as your guardian. So those various platforms within the mobile application are accessible. So a user would be in two states, either unverified or verified. Once the user is verified, they will have access to a larger suite of solutions, such as instantaneous updates, perks and discounts at certain shops based on the agreements we have with the different financial services, just to encourage people to keep being verified and keep up with their information. Again, it's alive and it's adaptive. So hypothetically speaking, you change your information at orange one day. Once that happens, it will update the system. So Mascom or the other institutions in the country won't necessarily need to now ask you to send an update of that. It will just seamlessly update on everyone's platform. The general administration and human resources, financial breakdown, we've gone through that, and the regulations. Regulations currently state that the government is pushing for a knowledge-based economy. And this has really encouraged us to push such solutions out onto the market because the government is in line with that, including this new CEDA loan regulation that allowed us to get up to a cap of 300,000 to 10 million pula, surety. So that is something that we can leverage in terms of growth factor or scalability as a local tech company. Workforce, we will definitely be looking for key hires, such as data analysis, machine learning specialists, artificial intelligence, database improvement to basically streamline the process as well. And then the technology is, as we had mentioned, the programs that we used, Adobe XD, Illustrator, we're using Firebase for some of the hosting, and we're also using Flutter. Yeah.
Inspiring, just in the it's we have so much.
And then the value proposition is a free, yeah, as mentioned before. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you very much, Nelly. That was great, and congratulations to you and your team. Well done. If I may ask also all our panelists to mute their mics. We will go back to Live Plus. Live Plus, I think William, you will be presenting on behalf of Live Plus. And then soon after that, we will announce the third category. So William, over to you with your 7 minutes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? All right. Hello everyone. My name is William Andrew from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I come from a company called Life Plus Limited. We're a telemedicine provider in the country, and we're competing in the category of access to basic services. I would like to first apologize. My internet all of a sudden just cut off and I lost connection. I could not go ahead with the pitch. Thank you very much for your hard work and giving me this opportunity to go ahead with the pitch. So to begin, I'd like to share with you a story that actually inspired us to be doing what we're doing today as a team. As recent as a few months ago, I came from burying my uncle who died from prostate cancer. My uncle was a smallholder farmer in a small village in Tanga region, and he earned as small as 300,000 Tanzanian shillings per month, making him unable to purchase or make any savings for medical needs. Right after his diagnosis, we were forced to contribute money monthly as a family to cover for his medical bills, which were skyrocketing as his condition was worsening. And because of this, ultimately, we were unable to catch up and cover all the costs on time, and each time that he needed for his next medical visit. And this led to complications that actually led to his death. Can you go to the next slide, please? So this was a wake-up call for us, and we decided to have a thorough look at the situation countrywide. So we conducted, having done research, we found out that an average African family makes less than $3,000 annually, making them unable to make any savings for medical services in that context. And in Tanzania specifically, less than 6% of the entire adult population are health insured, leaving the entire 94% uninsured. And this is by the FSDT report into 2012. Next slide. So we conducted a survey to have a thorough look at the situation in the field. And we surveyed 130 people focusing on low and middle income families. And out of the 130 people, we found out that 80% did not make any savings at all per month for medical services. 4% had some sort of microinsurance service plan, and 85% of the 4% had health insurances that did not cover for any specialist doctor services. Next slide, please. So the inability of making any savings or being unable to make any savings for medical needs can actually be detrimental to patients, as most families turn to family and friends for contributions in times of medical needs. And this exposes them to greater medical risks. Next slide. So we believe we've designed a fit solution for this problem, but our solution is actually developed from our prior existing products, which are already in the marketplace, and they are built upon our prior existing solution. So our first existing solution includes the Life Plus mobile app. Can you go on with the slide, please? Next slide, sorry. Yes, our first product is the Life Plus mobile app, which is a mobile application platform which allows patients to find doctors from various specialties in one platform, to consult them online and book appointment instantly and conveniently. Next slide. The Life Plus mobile app help patients across the country access medical consultation conveniently. It is very useful in saving them 75% of their time whenever seeking medical consultation, as well as spend 50% less the cost of regular physician consultation fees. Next slide. Next slide again. Our other existing product is the hospital appointment booking and management software. Through the online appointment booking system, allows patients to reserve or book hospital appointments to their doctors by reserving specific time slots, and the time that they select on the platform will be the exact time that they will be seeing the selected doctor at the selected health facility. And this helps patients save and avoid long queues in hospitals by reserving these specific time slots prior the doctor visit to the selected hospital. Next slide. Next slide again. So the platform is also a hospital appointment management software, which helps hospitals schedule doctors' timetable, receive appointments from patients, and therefore help hospitals manage crowding of patients in their facilities. As you can see from the pitch slide, is that they can be able to manage the amount of patients that they're able to see. And this is very useful, especially during this time of the coronavirus outbreak. Next slide. So based on these existing products, we're looking forward to develop or develop an automatic interactive voice response system, IVR, that will actually help patients book appointments through the voice system. And this is specifically for the patients that do not have access to internet connection. but we're also looking to work with mobile savings providers, whereby patients will be able to purchase subscription packages, our subscription packages, by saving or making savings through us, through the mobile savings providers, and therefore help them in times of medical need. So currently, we've made some traction, and we're working with 22 different healthcare providers in Dar es Salaam, including 3 multi-specialty hospitals, as shown on your pitch slide. Next slide, please. Yes. So as mentioned, is that we're looking to develop an interactive voice response that will allow patients to make subscriptions as well of the appointment bookings for users that do not have internet access, as well as purchase subscription packages through the interactive voice response system. Next slide, please. So this is our implementation plan, which includes, we're looking to onboard more doctors on the Life Plus mobile app. We're also looking to develop the automated voice response system and integrate our payment system with these mobile savings providers. Next slide. These are some of the mobile savings providers and mobile health insurance providers in the country, some of which we've already started commencing communications with them. Next slide. These are some of our subscription packages. They have 1-year expiry period, which allows the patients to subscribe by paying in installments. So the lowest is Tanzanian shilling 60,000, which allows patients to secure 3 appointments for doctor visit, as well as it also covers 3 other family members. And the highest is Tanzanian shillings 250,000, which help patients secure 6 appointments, as well as it also covers 8 other family members. So they have a 1-year expiry period, allowing patients to purchase in installments through the 1-year expiry period. Next slide. We're also looking to have other subscription plans that would include other important medical services, including surgery, testing, as well as women and children clinic. Next slide. Our revenue model includes commission. We take 30% commission of all the consultation and appointment booking fees that are done on the Life Plus system. And these are our financial projections for the first year. Next slide. So we believe our solution will be impactful. First is that it will assure women in these marginalized settings, especially women in these in marginalized settings, or women in credit and savings association circles, to be able to access continuity of gynecologic care throughout the year. And this can have a very positive impact to the number of deaths that happen to pregnant women and women that are on postnatal care. But also, patients that are under long-term treatment will be able to access care affordably as well as timely. And our telemedicine platform provides a good setting for continuity of care and remote patient monitoring, and hence better patient results. Next slide. Next slide again. So this is our market breakdown. For the first year, we're looking to activate 2.7 million patients, which is only 30% of the entire market share. And this includes number of patients that have actually the number of patients that actually visit health facilities, or the number of times that people visit health facilities every year. Also, the number of patients that actually have mobile phone coverage. So we're looking to activate 2.7 million patients that already have the means to access our services. Next slide. Our team includes experts both in the medical field as well as technology. We have medical doctors that are practicing in the Muhimbili National Hospital, as well as the Aga Khan Hospital, which is a partnering hospital as well. And we have experienced software developers in the team. So this makes us competent enough to implement such a solution and scale it across the entire region. Next slide.
Unfortunately, we've reached the end of our time for your presentation. I see that it's just your contact information.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm very, very honored to take part in this challenge. Thank you very much.
Back to you, Estelina.
Sorry, Selena, you are on mute.
Thanks. Yeah, now we're moving to our third thematic area, which is one of the new key points that within the financial inclusion we have to deal with regarding access to finance for SMEs. The winner of this thematic area is coming for country in the north of the SADC region, and the winner is the Phema Agri coming from Tanzania. So it seems that Tanzania is dominating this challenge. So we're moving again to Tanzania.
Thank you very much, Estelina. Daniela, have you?
Hello.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Daniela Kwayu, and I'm the CEO and co-founder.
Our product. Mute your presentation so that you can speak. Well, I can do it. I can go through it this way.
No, I can speak to it. If you can mute it, I can speak through it. Thank you very much, by the way. We're very, very honored.
Sure. I'm just trying to see how to remove it. Let's see. Okay, right. I think that's it. So I think if you can go ahead.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Kwayu. Nicole, I can see the screen, so I don't know if the presentation is up for the others.
Sorry, my mistake.
No worries.
Agriculture is the backbone of our country. It employs 80% of the working population. Our product is.
I think let me go through it with without it being in present.
I can project my screen if you would prefer that, and
that is probably easier. You should be able to share your screen now.
Yeah, just a second. Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Kwayu, and I'm the CEO and founder of Phema Agri. I'm projecting my screen as we speak. Oh, God. Share screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, it's come up.
Perfect. Right, so my name is Daniela Kwayu. Like I said, I represent Tanzania for the SMME financing. We're a digital platform that connects smallholder farmers looking for working capital solutions with investors, be it individual or institutional investors who are looking to invest in the agriculture sector through in smallholder farmers in Africa. Our logo, our tag is Kilimo Kwanza Wekeza Sasa, which in English translates agriculture first, invest now. And it gives an opportunity for everyone to play a part in mobilizing investments towards smallholder farming, towards the agriculture sector, and to address the food insecurity situation and concern that we believe is prevalent within the African economy. The problem is, as I'm going to go through it a little bit, right, without just going through the slides, I'm just going to speak through it. I'm a financial economics by profession, and prior I worked in financial institutions where the portfolio I was heading was the agriculture sector and FMCG. And we were addressing this financing, but from a very corporate level. And what you'd realize, all my clients were, when you look down at the actual farmers that they work with, this access to credit does not trickle down to them. So their economic or sustainability of their farms, of the environment, does not really increase. So what we went into in doing further research, we realized that in Africa, we have 80%, for example, in Tanzania, where 80% of the population is somehow involved in the agriculture sector. And we have about 60 financial institutions, yet less than 3% of lending from these financial institutions goes to the agriculture sector as a whole. And this was something that was really, there was a challenge here that we wanted to kind of see, how can we deploy technology as we're moving into this new digital era? How can we provide technology and these tools to address this current need? And that's why Phema Agri kind of came about. The platform is a digital marketplace. Essentially, it's a crowdfunding platform that sources financing for structured, de-risked farmers in structured value chains that we've been able to de-risk and manage. So what, I'm just gonna go forward. What the product actually does, it matches, it's a B2B2C. It matches investors looking, so for example, myself, if I'm looking to invest in agriculture and I have disposable income, I'm able to tap into the Phema Agri platform and view farms and farmers who are de-risked, who are less risky to invest in. What do we mean by that? All our farmers who exist in our ecosystem we've been able to first fully understand the value chain that they exist in. We've been able to find them an off-taking contract. That means we know exactly how much they're going to sell and to who they're going to sell their products to. We have trained their farmer to be able to sustain that off-taking contract. And then we've been able to insure that farm. So we have insurance partners that we partnered with, that they insure the farm in case of anything happens on the farm, because as we all understand, agriculture sector is prone to a lot of environmental shocks, weather changes, hailstorms, and things like this that can affect the productivity of things that you're investing in the farm. So by partnering with this insurance company, we're able to really de-risk and ensure that that farm is that much more, the investment is that much more de-risked, and our investors are able to be guaranteed that the investment that they do put in is going to come back. Furthermore, we went further into investing in partnering with input providers. So what our ecosystem provides is a cashless system where the farmer does not necessarily receive the actual cash, but they receive the support. So as I invest in the platform, for example, I invest $100, that $100 goes to the input provider to deliver the actual inputs that we're financing for the farm. So be it a chicken farm, the farmer would be able to receive the actual chick and the feed to feed the chicken throughout the investment period. And Phema Agri does the monitoring of that investment throughout the training and making sure that the mortality of that investment is not realized. So everything, the investment is secured throughout the process. And if there's interventions we need to put in place before that investment goes bad, we deploy those early on through the monitoring that we do. So that gave us an investment opportunity for us to be able to assure our investors that these farms are investable, credible, secured, that all these risks that exist in the market, price risks, weather risks, all of these, we've mitigated them to the best of our ability. Again, we see this as a big challenge, not just for Tanzania, but for Africa as a whole. We have a 150 billion financing gap in Africa for financing in agriculture, and less than 3% of lending in Africa, let alone Tanzania, goes into this sector. So for us, the opportunity is huge, and be it Africa, we have about 60% of our world arable land is located in Africa. We're able to really affect the change and see our local production increase, Africa's production increase, Africa's export potential increase. That is something that we're taking very much seriously to try to tackle in this area. In Tanzania, I think we're one of the first platforms who's that much far ahead in unlocking crowdfunding for agriculture. However, in different parts of the African continent, these platforms do exist, and we congratulate them and we join their struggle, because this is definitely a point of intervention that is needed in the continent. Data analysis sits literally at the core of what we do. Every step of the way before we onboard a farm, there's a lot of analysis to understand what that value chain is, because not every value chain works for this type of model. We need to be able to find that profitability angle that benefits the farmer, makes them sustainable, but also gives an investment opportunity for our investor. And that's understanding the whole ecosystem that the farmer exists in. So data is at the core of how we approach investing in farmers. How we work, like I mentioned earlier, first we start by analyzing each value chain. Before we invest, we invest in these farmers. We try to understand which value chain they exist in, and is there a profitability angle that we can work with that can provide our investor an investment opportunity. Then we locate these off-taking contracts. We partner with big off-takers, small off-takers, but any off-taker within the value chains that we've de-risked who can be able to off-take and buy the goods that we invest in at a certain pre-agreed price. And then we identify the farmers, and then we insure the product, and then we fundraise. After we fundraise, we realize that we need to be able to monitor that investment and assist that farmer, because not only do they know what they're doing, but also they need that extra leverage to be able to understand leverage, the access to modern technology, modern investment opportunities, modern agriculture practices. That's what we deploy in training them. Climate smart technologies. These go into securing that investment. And we also operate a profit sharing model. So there's a profit share between us, the investor, and the farmer himself. Like I said, our business model is a profit share, where we, on every dollar that we make for a farmer, is split between the investor, the sponsor who invests through the crowdfunding platform, the farmer, and Phema Agri maintains a commission that is used to sustain and secure that whole value chain and structure the off-taking agreements and the monitoring process. We successfully launched in April this year with a pilot for a couple of pig farms, and we raised very small amounts, but it was, again, to test how prevalent this type of model and investment opportunity is needed in the market from both investors' perspective and from a farmer's perspective. Right now, we're unlocking a further value chain, a poultry value chain, where we'll be fundraising about 150 million, which is about $75,000 every 2 months for a group of farmers, where we're scaling them from, right now we have 8 to 100 targeted for the end of the year. And our scalability plans are to add more value chains like potatoes, like maize, and scale to new markets within the next 12 months. So we really we're really approaching a very scalable pivot point here. So we're very, very committed towards unlocking this financing for our farmers. We do welcome investments. We realize we cannot own all these value chains. We have to do a lot of partners with storage, or to secure more value chains. And we're looking to add an app for our platform in order to be able to get easy access for investors to invest in us, and also to be able to reach the farmers that much easier using a USSD optimization. And yeah, so we welcome investments. Like mentioned on the page, it's about $500,000 for 15% stake in the company, and this will give us the opportunity to scale it to about 100,000 farmers by the end of 2 years. We have a very young and dynamic team. I think we all bonded over this common problem in order, the passion in trying to unlock financing, and because we see on one hand investments are, people are investing in low return investment opportunities and farmers are struggling. And that has been a pain point for even ourselves to try to unlock. So we're a young team, we're very ambitious and passionate towards unlocking financing for and increasing the local production in Tanzania and in Africa as a whole. We see potential in this product scaling beyond the borders of Tanzania and in other East African nations. And we're very, very passionate about what we can bring to the table. Yeah, no, that's Phema Agri, and thank you very, very much. And we look forward to more engaging with all people in this group chat and trying to unlock further solutions for the African continent. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Daniela, back to you, Estelina.
Yeah, thank you. Now we are going to announce the last winner of the last thematic area. Not meaning that it's less important, which is the thematic area dealing with women and the savings. Women in majority of our country represented the majority of the population. There is no financial inclusion without savings, so we have here combined two topics, women and savings. There is a monopolization in this competition. The winner of this thematic area is coming from Botswana. So it seems that Botswana and Tanzania are bringing innovation that might unlock most of our country in terms of financial inclusion. I have a pleasure to announce that the solution is coming for money, it's called MoneyChaps, and it's coming from Botswana. Please, let's congratulate that small team.
Hi.
Hi, I'm just going to share my screen so that you can get started. Okay.
Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Tabiso, and our proposed solution, which focuses on women savings, is called MoneyChaps, representing Botswana. And our vision at MoneyChaps is to eliminate blind spots in women finance by facilitating growth through various financial management tools. Next. From our research, we realized that low to medium income women need to be empowered with financial tools to perform certain financial tasks to accomplish their goals. And as MoneyChaps, we developed a mobile-based data-driven technology solution that offers women with business group savings, personal finance tools to manage their financial health by keeping track of their income, expense, and savings. Next. Our digital financial tools will be targeted towards low to middle income women in urban and semi-urban settlements. Next. We do understand that we are entering a very competitive space, and we stand out as a solution that prioritizes financial literacy and empowerment for women to take control of their finances. Our app disrupts the outdated norm that women finance only evolves around group savings. Hence, we also saw the need to offer financial management tools for women in businesses and personal finances. We also give free access to all our tools for end users, as we do not want affordability to be a barrier to access. Next. Industry researchers have shown that typical needs of women are still underserved, and this is the opportunity that we realized as we developed our app. The growing usage of smartphones and internet in sub-Saharan Africa also creates new financial access opportunities, especially for more interactive and user-friendly financial mobile apps. Next. Most of our competitors have been in the market for a long time and are well established. As a new entrant, we will adopt a cost leadership strategy to penetrate the market and reduce shifting costs when consumers move from other platforms to our platform. Next. Our revenue model is centered around leveraging on data accumulated in our platform, and we shall be utilizing advanced data technologies to extract valuable insights that can be effectively monetized. Next. The following is a short demonstration of some of the features and functionalities of our solution. It's a video, you can play it. Yes, our plan is to offer products that end consumers need for free so that they may use our app in large numbers. In return, we'll leverage on customer activity and data to attract businesses and service providers. Next. Some of our revenue streams will be charging a fee for running data-driven ads in our app on behalf of businesses, and we'll also get revenue share from collaborative initiatives with third-party providers. We shall be charging technology fees for digitizing third-party products, and we'll also sell credit scores to financial service providers. Next. Our first priority is to empower users with the necessary financial education in the early stages so that they may be ready to use most of our tools. Next. There's an increase in smartphone and internet usage in sub-Saharan Africa, so delivering our services through a mobile app is in line with the market trend. Next. We have an intensive marketing strategy in place for customer acquisition because when more and more end consumers use our app, businesses and service providers will want to associate with us. Next. To protect our brand and make sure we make the best impression when we first take the product to the market, we have some internal and external quality assurance controls to ensure our launch leaves a good impression. Next. For this project to be a success, we need to raise $90,000 over 3 investment seeking rounds. Most of the funds will be invested towards app development and intense marketing campaigns to bring in more end users upon which we shall build our business model. It is worth noting that we are committed to building a strong brand that will provide good return on investment for investors in the foreseeable future. Hence why we also have an investor exit strategy in place. Next slide. Next slide. We are a well diversified and experienced team with members from different disciplines that are vital to the success of this project. The most exciting part about our team is that we complement each other in many ways. Last slide. Our principal place of business is Gaborone, Botswana. And for more information about our project, we can be reached at teamabag@gmail.com or give us a call on 74443701. This brings me to the end of our presentation. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for that great presentation, and congratulations to the 4 winning teams. And thank you very much, Eselina, for taking us through that session of announcing the winners. So I'm cognizant that we are running out of our time, but if you may allow me just an additional 5 minutes for us to round up with the last 2 sections of our agenda. So to close off, we will have a representative from FSD Zambia who will give us their remarks as a partner. So Ms. Charity Chikumbi will give us those remarks. And just before she jumps in, I'll just highlight the next steps for our teams. So all these 4 teams, each of them will be walking away with the total value of $15,000 US, and $5,000 US of that is coming through as cash, and the remaining $10,000 is going to be going towards technical support to incubate and accelerate these products to scale in the market. So this is the journey we'll be working with the winning teams, possibly for the next coming 3 to 6 months. And our focus as FMT and our partners is to ensure that these products reach the market and impact the lives of the vulnerable. And with that, I hand over to Charity. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm standing in for Betty Wilkinson, who was supposed to deliver this, but she has some technical challenges. So to Mr. Dumisani Dube from Finmark Trust, Ms. Nikki Kettles, Finmark Trust, Ms. Eselena Malcolm, CEO, FSD Mozambique, Mr. Daniel Ngwepe, Innovation Park and Board Member, representatives from Finmark, Bongo Hive, FSD, and all other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed to the winners, I say good afternoon. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to give those closing remarks for this event. Thank you all for your continued collaboration in making sure that the SADC Innovation Challenge is an ongoing success. Thank you to the Finmark Trust for providing guidance and consistent resources to enable us to conduct the challenge with other stakeholders. I'm delighted to see my colleagues from FSD, for Ms. Eselina Makome with us. My gratitude also to the Zambian partners in particular, and for Bongo Hive too, for having helped throughout the challenge in Zambia. Along with 8 other partners in the FSD network, including the Finmark Trust and the Mozambique FSD, FSD Zambia works to enable our people to enjoy inclusive financial opportunities, access to basic services such as education and power, and sustainable futures. We can only succeed when financial services are designed to meet the needs of the real sector clients, particularly the low-income households, women, and youth, and when such services are delivered responsibly and priced affordably. Digital finance and the fintechs who help deliver it to the clients are critical in enabling access to financial services needed for success. A key step in the path to achieving inclusive finance in the SADC Innovations Challenge is this big thing. This year's challenge tasked the participants to find solutions in SME, women and savings, digital financial identity, and access to basic services. Participants developed innovations that addressed challenges which are practical community problems, leveraging on data and data analytics to design scalable solutions. The challenge not only looked for winners, but also helped build skills, identify innovations that are relevant to financial inclusion, and created a platform for networking for participants and partners. You went to boot camps, completed webinars on key topics, and worked very hard to produce your fintech products. Thank you for all the commitment that you gave. Congratulations to the regional winners who will receive cash and incubation support to build your ideas and scale up the innovations. We wish you the best of luck as you further develop and sell your products. To the other participants, a big thank you to you too. We are grateful for your interest, hard work, dedication to deliver and develop scalable solutions to financial inclusion challenges in our communities. We know you worked hard and strongly encourage you to continue your creative work. Please keep going. To all of you, your ideas are important. This is not the end, but only the beginning of solving many challenges and making a real difference in your communities, your countries, and the entire region. Good luck and congratulations to the winners and to everyone. Thank you very much on behalf of Betty Wilkinson.
Thank you very much, Charity. This brings us to the end of our session. Thank you very much to you all and to our participants. We will be in touch with you to continue engaging. But otherwise, for all our delegates, thank you for coming through and have a pleasant afternoon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. And
bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.